Folks, welcome back to the Rec Room, episode 22. And woo-wee, boy, am I excited for this episode. This is one that I have kind of been sitting on, meticulously planning, trying to figure out if we couldn't work something out. For the last few weeks, we've been in conversation about doing this episode, and I just want to say before we get going, the fact that we can do this is something that was reaffirming to me because back during the most recent volleyball season, as I was calling games for Michigan State, this was a man who led his program at that time, the Oregon Ducks, into East Lansing, Michigan, to have a match with Michigan State. And what was really cool is that he and I had a connection through one of his players, Daley McClellan, who is at University of Oregon and from the state of Oregon, the same way as I am. And we were able to get connected. And what I was referring to off camera, which I wanted to say thank you to on camera, is the willingness to engage with me and the flexibility to sit there with me before the match and talk volleyball, talk culture, and talk people, and talk how to get a program going. And without further ado, Coach Matt Ulmer, who's now at the University of Kansas, was at the University of Oregon for 8 seasons as an associate coach, as well as the head coach for, I believe, 7 of those, correct?
8 years as head coach,
Okay.
11 total at Oregon.
Wow,
Yep.
wow, wow, wow. Absolutely.
I know I
But
don't look that old. I know I don't look that old.
Coach, thank you so much for being here. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it to be able to connect. Something that's super important to me is I've been learning the sport of volleyball, is trying to catch up rapidly. And something that I noticed when you and I sat down back in November is that a lot of people refer to high level football IQ guys as football guys, guys who
Mhm.
love football. And I was thinking as we were having our conversation, like you yourself are a volleyball guy, man. I mean, that's like just unquestioned at this point. So I want to know, like, how are you doing with the move to Lawrence, and what are some of the things that you've been thinking about as you're working on getting involved in this new culture that you're in?
Well, first thing is thanks for having me. And is this your rec room?
Yeah, that's
Like
right.
where'd rec room come from?
So my last name being Rector, I thought
Hmm.
about the association between having a comfortable spot to lounge, have some
Yeah.
conversation, some fireside chat, and we took kind of recreation and we took Rector, and then we said, okay, let's go. So we're a part of the rec room.
Boom. Got it.
That's
It
right.
makes sense. It makes sense. I love it. Transition's been great. So obviously lots of change for us, my family. We have 4 kids and my wife, and
Mm,
uh, 3 of them are in school. So having to get them situated in a new place and sell our home in Oregon and
mhm.
find a new place in Kansas and get to say goodbye to all of our friends and family in Oregon. The
Sure.
team obviously is very difficult. Um, and then getting to meet a lot of new people here in Kansas, and
Mm,
including the team, um, and then actually getting in the gym and having them start to understand what I'm about, getting to understand what they're about, and starting to put it together. So, no, a lot of moving parts. I tried to just simplify that, but it's been a lot. But it's been, it's exciting. It's exciting to do something new. It's exciting to be in a place that we're really excited to live and raise our kids. And we have just an amazing staff that was wanting to come with or move here,
mm.
and so the future is bright.
Most certainly, most certainly. And, as we were getting prepared to do this interview, I was hearing some things about what has been said, both about from your perspective of having sit down conversations and then some articles out there. And one of the ones that I was moved by was very recently, you had a conversation and excuse me, I forget who it was. Maybe you can fill in that blank, but Jayhawk Talk where
Mm-hmm.
you were asked about, kind of what the ceiling is. And
Mm-hmm.
in essence, it was like there is no limit to what we can do.
Mm-hmm.
I was wondering, coach, is like because knowing what I know about the sport of volleyball, which truth be told, is not a great deal, but like we touched on, trying to improve, is that Kansas is in fact a place that can
Mm-hmm.
have a sky is the limit. So for you, like, how fast are you trying to get to a certain checkpoint? And on the backside of that is like, I know we said there is no limit. Like, what are the boxes that have to be checked to try and get there?
Yeah, I mean, if I look at our sport, I look at, where do recruits want to go?
Mm,
Where are the elite recruits, choosing to go? A huge factor I think in that is, attendance, support for the sport. Again, if I'm looking at Nebraska's and the Wisconsin and the Texases, the Penn States, right, who
mm,
just won. So if I Louisville and Pitt, the ones that are at the top right now currently, I just, I look at sold out crowds. I see administrations that are really pushing women's volleyball. I see definitely a certain excitement within the community for the sport, and so in turn for the players and for their experience.
mm.
And I look at Kansas City. We're 30 minutes away from Kansas City here in Lawrence, right? We are in a massive hotbed for volleyball. Obviously, great physical volleyball talent, but just a love and a passion for the sport and for women's sports. And this is a place that loves its sports, and I think that this could absolutely be one of those places. And Coach Ray Bouchard before me obviously has had great success. So it's not even about like turning to a winning culture. This Kansas already has a winning culture.
Mm,
That's not it.
mhm.
It's about becoming something even bigger, and trying to be a program that is nationally recognized as
Sure.
far as trying to win championships and trying to push to be in that top tier of teams that's competing year in and year out. And again, I think I can see it's like when you look at a home and you see it when it's under construction, you just see the potential, right?
Mm,
And so for me, obviously this is already a very beautiful home, but there's some additions that we can do to make it even greater.
sure.
Maybe some landscaping, maybe some other things, to make it your dream home.
Yes, sir.
And that's what I saw with Kansas, partly because of things I said, also because of the people.
Mm,
The people that are here. What they want to do with volleyball. Travis Goff, my new boss, the AD here, and Nicole Corcoran, my sports supervisor. They're all in with volleyball, and just they're really pushing and seeking someone that could be the architect for what Kansas volleyball could be in the future. So, Ray Bouchard again put an amazing foundation down and has an incredible career and so many great moments in Kansas volleyball history already. So just seeing if maybe now we can push to that next level. So what does that look like for us? We're already selling out our gym that we're in, Horsch. So maybe getting into Allen Fieldhouse, for some matches where basketball
mm,
plays, and that is an incredible environment
sure.
for basketball. I mean, just something I've never seen. Have you been to a game before at Allen Fieldhouse?
I have not.
Put it on your list. Put
Mm,
it on your list.
mm,
It is wild. But it's just it's palpable, like the love for sport. It's really impressive. So the community is here. I think so. A couple of weeks ago, there was a snowstorm that was coming. It was an 8 p.m. game on a Tuesday night against Colorado, who I think at the time was at the bottom of the standing. Now they're still playing. They're knocking people off now, but and it's 16,000 people or whatever. It's sold out. Not an empty seat. I'm like most places, you're not getting that. That's how diehard, fans are. That's how important, sports are
Mm,
here in Lawrence and in the Kansas City area. And I just know that women's volleyball has that same type of following. We just need to give them an avenue to support it. So
sure.
that was a big part for me is just what we could do. And
Mm,
so when I say that, I think there is no ceiling, there is no limit. I really mean it. I
sure.
think that's we could do something that hasn't been done before.
Yes, absolutely. And I think, another thing that I've been noticing with some of the branding and social media that the Jayhawks are putting out as of recent is this concept of centrally located, right? It's this
Mm-hmm.
idea that you're right, shoot, in the middle of the thing in terms of the scope of the country. And as you were saying very early on in your previous answer, that Kansas City is a freaking hotbed. And like people can't forget that. So
Hmm.
I gotta know, coach, is like being able to recruit to Eugene is something that you absolutely figured out and were able to crack. But I imagine that's a little bit different than recruiting to Lawrence, Kansas. Like, what are some of the immediate ways that you found that your kind of mantra and maybe your recruiting pitch are unique between being in Eugene versus being in Lawrence?
I mean, maybe something that I would come up against in Eugene, is just how far away
Mm,
Oregon could be for some people. But having said that, we were getting recruits from all over the country.
absolutely.
Again, I think it really comes down to the people. It comes down to the experience. I think all those other things, I mean, weather or time away from home, things like that. Those are such temporary things, and we're an indoor sport. So I think it really comes down to who you're with day in and day out. If their goals align with yours, and how much you're appreciated and loved. I think we were able to provide that for our student athletes at Oregon, and we're going to be able to do that here at Kansas.
Sure.
But now some of those temporary things that people maybe get, worried about, those go away because of what you said. We're right in the middle of the country. There's a direct flight to Kansas City for pretty much everywhere, so the parents can come. You can get home. That makes it easy. A big one is, our conference. We get a charter everywhere, and we
Mm,
go. It's a quick flight, and you're back home that night.
sure.
So a lot of the travel piece, it is solved here, for Kansas and for my family and I when I'm recruiting
That's
and out
right.
on the road. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of logistical things that Kansas provides,
Mm,
that really does add up at the end of the year when you're trying to make your run in December,
mm,
of how fresh, and how good your team is feeling and where your head is at, mentally. So no, I think a lot of the things here, we have answers for. Um, so I think what we were able to do at Oregon was amazing, and
yeah.
no doubt again that at Kansas we can, um, you know, be who we are, and continue to push even further.
Mm. Yes, absolutely. And by the way, what I wanted to ask, actually, I did not want to put you in a situation where it's like I can't speak on that. So I wanted to ask, like, with some of the players that have been signing with Kansas, are you allowed to speak on them?
Yeah, the ones that have been announced. Yeah,
Sure,
so yesterday we had Audra Wilmes and Ryan White were announced.
sure.
That they're coming here. Ryan will be here in another week, which is exciting to get her mid semester. And then Audra will be here in the summer. She's finishing up her degree at Washington. Chris
Okay,
Klein is already here at Oregon.
that's right.
And then we have another player that has signed, but we haven't released her name yet.
Okay.
So
Mhm.
and hopefully there's a few more. So
Sure.
again, what's in the gym is already really good. We're just trying to add and fill in and complement the roster that we already have. So very similar to where we were at Oregon about a year ago when
Mm,
we graduated 7 pros.
mm,
After the 23 season, and then 24, this past year we were able to put together a really solid team,
mm,
that was able to make a run and play at a high level. So, that's what we're trying to work through right now. And a lot of it is learning in the gym, which is my passion. Love doing it. And so I'm seeing great results, with the team. They're very excited. But then also trying to find, complementary pieces that will go around and continue to help build for the future.
mm. Coach, one thing that I was super curious about, especially as you had just mentioned, that there are new pieces that are matriculating into this
Mm.
system now and it's becoming one. Like, what are some of your tips and tricks for combining those different kind of, whether it be attitudes or concepts that have been learned elsewhere in creating the system, into one, as we said?
Uh, I mean, treat everybody equally.
Mm,
I think that's a big one, at least from a team cohesion standpoint. Again, I have, I tried to be mindful with Chris coming in, right? Because I have a relationship with her more than I have a relationship with the rest of the team.
absolutely.
But that doesn't factor anything in except for, she already feels more comfortable around us. And so I need to make sure that we're doing a good job of building the relationships that are already, that are of the players that are already on the team.
Sure.
And then same thing with Ryan and Audra. Already know them a little bit better.
Hmm.
Known Audra since she was really young. I think 10 years old. I've known her, and then
Wow.
Ryan was committed to us at Oregon. So again, I have more of a relationship with them. So again, just I think being mindful of that, making sure the current Kansas roster, doesn't feel a certain way by just, really being intentional with my time with them.
Mm,
And then also, trying to lift up the new pieces in and just hopefully you can integrate everybody, really well. But when you're in the gym, you're coaching. So everybody's going to feel my wrath one way or the other, in the gym. So they're going to feel equal opportunity with that as far as, new information. We're getting to some points where there's some positive affirmation, but it's a lot of new, even though they were doing great things with Coach Ray. I think what I do is just a little bit different. So trying to get them, to understand some changes and same thing for Audra and Ryan when they come in the gym, wherever, where they were is going to be different than what we're doing here. So I think that will help them fall right in because now the Kansas players will be like, yeah, we just went through that the last few weeks. So,
mm,
here's how we dealt with that. And, you just keep working.
sure. Well, Coach, I want to be mindful of your time, but if you would be willing, how would you feel about doing a couple question rapid fire segment? Like one word, short answer.
Hit me.
Perfect. 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 So without further ado, folks, this is rolling loud on the rec room. So, Coach, let me ask you this. What are three words to describe your life at current?
Uh, let's see. Tired, exhausted. We'll put those together.
Sure.
No, motivated
Hmm.
and enjoy.
Okay. Where does your joy come from?
Ooh, relationship with Christ, one.
Mm,
Uh, family, two. Just the opportunity to get to do what I love each and every day.
most certainly. Most certainly. If 2025 could be defined by something for you, how would your 2025 be quote unquote complete?
Complete?
Mm, hmm.
Ooh. Um, I would say maybe the interviews that I get from the team at the senior banquet. Hearing how their experience was, um, seeing my kids' faces at Christmas. That's a big one at the end of the year.
Mm,
And then just making sure my wife still loves me come
mm.
December 31st.
Most certainly. Most certainly. And Coach, last one for you. Um, who are some folks that you'd like to shout out, man?
Carol Ulmer, my wife, number one. I think the thing, and then the kiddos. I think something that always goes under the table when these moves happen is the family's moving too.
Mm,
And they're uprooting their lives, and so we don't make these decisions, lightly. It's not like I'm just going; it's just me, and I'm gonna, go to work, and I'm gonna be busy. But there's boxes in the background here that I just had to move out of the picture. We're in a temporary house for another month until
sure.
our new home is ready. There's just a lot of change that happens, and the only way it works is if I have the support, with the family unit. So, shout out to my wife for moving from Oregon to Kansas, and moving the whole crew and getting everything set up so that we can do what we're doing right now. And then I would say my staff, so Erica Dillard, Erica Nassler, coming from Oregon to Kansas. They had never been off the West Coast before in their lives, so this is a
Mm,
huge deal. Um, I think they both could be great head coaches if that's what they wanted to do. But they want to keep doing this together. And I think what we have is a really special staff unit that we were able to add Matt Worley from Grand Canyon University, he was the men's coach there.
sure.
And able to add him, I think just makes it a really complete staff with Tori Hollis and Maggie Bowen, who are already here as director of ops and tech coordinator and alumni. So just an amazing staff. So family staff, being being equally yoked. I just can't tell you how important that is and how that's going to make this really be special.
Mm, absolutely. Well, Coach Ulmer, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And that's what we have for the Rec Room, episode 22. We hope you all really enjoyed this one. I'm just so excited and blessed by the fact that we continue to have inspiring and insightful conversations. And Coach, for you, I just wanted to say before we go, one thing that you said to me when we were together in East Lansing was that, if I need anything, if I wanted to reach out, that I should feel welcome to do so. And I truly have. And I just know that that speaks volumes about you and about what you're about. So thank you. It's meant the world. Truly has.
Yeah, you're killing it. Can we say like you wrecked it? No, does that not work?
There it
Does
is.
that work?
Yeah.
We'll find a coin phrase. But no, it's great, and I'm excited to watch your career continue to grow, and you're going to do great things like you already are. Thanks
Thank
for
you.
having me.
Absolutely.
You got it. See ya.